Yeah, it's PG. So I'm much more of a mingler than a singler. Thank you, Brian, wherever he is. So I'm a little bit nervous, but I've had a few beers. So anyway, you may or may not know, but Vance and I were friends for a couple years before we started dating. And we became very close friends. And so this is a story about how two friends started dating. So I was in Arizona and I bought a chair, a very large chair that I found in a resale shop in Arizona. I lived in Austin, but I really wanted this chair and it was going to look amazing in my bedroom. And I had I flew to Arizona, so I was obviously not going to take this chair back with me on the plane to Austin. So I bought the chair and I put it in my sister's garage with the promise that I would eventually come back to Arizona and get this chair. So like many months go by and my sister's like, yeah, still got this big old chair in my garage. Are you going to come and get it? So I'm like, all right, I'm going to get this chair. Well, Vance and I had become really good friends, and he loves road trips, and if you talk to his old friends, he's always in for a road trip, and he will go anywhere with anybody at any time, usually in any car. But in my car, he was like, I will go with you, but we are not taking that piece of junk. Hell no. So Vance said, yes, I will go with you, but we have to rent a car. Fine. So I called my sister and I'm like, my friend Vance is gonna come with me. We're gonna go and pick up the chair, but Arizona's kind of boring. So let's pick somewhere a little more interesting to go to. So we picked Durango because it was it was closer to her than to us, but it was just a much more fun destination than Arizona. So Vance and I get on the road. And we decide we're going to drive down I-10, go up through New Mexico to Durango, and meet my sister, pick up this chair, and come home. And so our first night, and this whole time, we're kind of like, maybe there's something there between us, but maybe not, don't know. We're going to use this trip to kind of figure it out, whatever. So our first stop is in Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, and they have bathhouses there, clothing optional bathhouses. We get to the bathhouse, and I look at Vance, and I'm like, hey man, when in Rome, let's just do this. He's like, I think there's a curtain right here. Look at this curtain. You could be on that side of the curtain, and I'm right here, and we're all happy. And I'm like, okay, all right. Taking the temperature here, it's cool. Cool temperature on this whole thing. All right, fine. So, we have our independent bathhouses. Whatever he wore, I don't even know, because I was in my own behind the curtain. And so we get back on the road, and we start going, and we hit a deer on the freeway. And when I say we hit a deer, I mean it exploded onto our car. It was really quite horrific. Well, luckily, Vance had the foresight to decide to rent a car. So I took our rental car and we drove it at about 8 miles an hour for about 30 miles to the closest two-building town. Two buildings that were the general store, the mailbox, the bank, or the post office, the bank, the gas station, and the courthouse. So we stop in the parking lot of this two-building town, and we have to wait for the guy to open the store because we left the road. We got on the road super early, hit the deer, got to the town, and the little town was not open yet. So we had to wait for the guy to get there to open the store. I'm kind of in the middle of something right now.
It's really boring. It's my baby. I love her.
Okay. So the deer The deer did die. I'm sorry. Yeah, the deer did die. The deer died. Everybody got that? Deer died. And also, Zia and Sophia are having a really good time, just so everyone knows. So the guy gets there. He opens the store so we can use the payphone because our cell phones didn't actually work in this two-store town. And we call Enterprise, and they're like, all right, no, it's good. We're going to bring you a new car. We're going to pick up the deer car, and we're going to bring you a new car. So Vance and I sit in the parking lot of this two-building town for about 6 hours in the back of the car, and we play cards, and we talk, and we hang out, and we buy soda after soda because we didn't want to buy beer, and then like the Enterprise guys come in and we're wasted in the parking lot.
Wait, so the convenience store owner was also the judge?
Oh yeah, and the convenience store owner was also the judge. And he was a really nice guy. He probably was also the mailman and the mayor. And anyway, so eventually Enterprise shows up. They bring us a new car. They take the car with the carcass and all this stuff gone. So we get back on the road. And it's awesome, and we get to Durango, and we have a really great time. We meet up with my sister, who of course is like keeping tabs on us through my mom. I'm like calling my mom and getting her updates. My mom's calling my sister in Durango, and this is how we're all communicating because we don't have any cells on our cell phone. And so we finally get there. We go river rafting, we go to hot springs, we go hiking. I mean, it's really amazing, and we get this chair. We get it into the back of our car, and we start driving home 2 days later. Amazing trip. But the trip kind of lasted a little bit longer than we thought, so we're driving overnight, and still nothing's like really happening with me and Vance. You know, we've kind of had all these like crazy things happening, but we're just friends still. Temperature's still cool. And so Vance is driving. I'm in the seat of the car, in the passenger seat, and I put my legs up on the glove compartment, and I'm kind of dozing off, and I'm not really asleep, and I'm wearing this little skirt, and it keeps falling, you know, just a little bit, you know, and I'm like, not really asleep, but he thinks I'm asleep, and he keeps reaching over and pinning my skirt back up, and I'm like, this is like cool to chilly, like chilly. What the hell is going on? I'm like, so I kind of move, you know, a little bit. The skirt drops a little bit. Hand comes over. Up goes the skirt. I'm like, what the hell is going on here, you know? So, fine. I finally just like really doze off because this is just getting the same old. So, we finally get back into Austin. And we literally like drove through the night. And it's about 10 o'clock. We get it back into Austin, and we pull in, and my cat is dead in my driveway. So after this long-ass drive, and like it's super weird and super great, but also kind of weird, and anyway. So we get, and there's my cat. Like we pull into my driveway, and we have to stop the car because there's my cat, who had a heart attack, by the way. It was not like murdered or anything. Natural causes. So I stop and I'm like, oh my God, my cat, and what's going on with you? And I don't even know what's happening here, and got this chair though, but so Vance is like, I will bury your cat in the backyard. So, and he's been driving, like we've been driving straight through from Durango. So he's been driving, well, the two of us have been driving for like 12, 13 hours. It's like, I'll bury your cat. So we bag up the cat, and he buries the cat in the backyard. And we are like ridiculously exhausted, like ridiculous. But he only lives like 2 blocks away. And I'm like, do you want to take a nap? Yes or no to the nap. I'm like, this is the last temperature call right here. You know, he's like, yeah, I'm really tired. Let's just lay down in your bed. Like, all right. So fully clothed, we literally pass out. Like on my bed, and he's got dirt on his face from burying the cat and all this, so he falls asleep. So a couple hours later we wake up, and I look at him and he looks at me, and I'm like, all right, no more games. What's going on here? do you think there's something here, or what's happening? It's been kind of weird. It's been out there in the ether. What's happening? Do you want to be my boyfriend? I'm like, it's like high school. Like, literally. Like high school.
Yes, no, maybe.
And he looks at me, and he's like, no. I don't. You're like super special, and you're like one of my greatest friends, and I can't do this. I'm leaving. And he's like, out. And I'm like,
Way to play hard to get
wow, I feel horrible. This is like just terrible. So yeah, it's like bye-bye. And but I will unload the chair first. So he unloads the chair, he leaves, and I'm like, oh my god, I just totally screwed up this like really amazing friendship that I have, because we were very, very close, really good friends. And so a day goes by, and I'm like gone. And I actually didn't have a cell phone, because I didn't have a cell phone until I moved to New York City. Like, I was 35 years old before I had my first cell phone. So I didn't have a cell phone, and I was kind of like, you know what, I'm going to go out, and I'm going to go hang out with my friends, and I'm going to forget about this whole deer and Vance, and no, I don't want to be your boyfriend, this whole thing that had happened. So I'm going to go out, and I'm going to get drunk all day, and I'm not going to be home. And I get home, and there is like 15 messages on my machine, and it's Vance. He's like, it's Vance again, call me. Hey, it's Vance. Can you call me? Yeah, it's Vance again. Just Vance. Like over and over, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so weird. So I call him, and I'm like, hey, I got your messages, lots of them. And he's like, yeah, can I come over? I'm like, okay. And I hang up the phone, and like, there's a knock on my door. Like, literally. Like, he was at the end of my block at a bar, like 6 houses away, waiting for me to get home. And he comes over and he's like, I am an idiot, and we should be together. And the weirdest part is, like, we had never even kissed. Like, all of this like crazy stuff went down, and like, I'm like, I could kiss you, and you could be like kissing my brother, and it'd be really gross, and I don't even know if this is like, you know. And I said that to him. I'm like, but what if? And it wasn't like that, by the way. It all worked out, and now 2 kids, 6 houses later, maybe. So I don't even know. Can't keep count. But we do have 2 kids only. And yeah.
Where's
so
the chair?
That's how. Oh, the chair. So we do have a chair. It's in Ashley's garage. Although we're thinking about Craigslisting the chair, because it is a big chair, and you know, we have some smaller keepsakes that are just as sentimental, but not as large. And I don't know if anyone's noticed, but our house is quite small. So I don't know, the chair is kind of teetering on the chopping block, on the Craigslist block, but we do still have the chair in Ashley's garage. So that is how Vance and I decided to go from friends to more than.